Did you ever hit your head real hard and it got you really angry? I just hit my head on the door frame of my car and I'm still pissed off about it. Nobody cares. Lights, camera, action. Bidhead 1000 here. And you're tuned into the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that? Well, let me tell you something. Our once great and proud hobby where sharks would roam free and collect video game... Oh, God. Well, welcome to the greatest video game show in the history of human civilization. And I'm your host, Bidhead 1000. Welcome to the greatest video game show in the history of human civilization. And I'm your host, Bidhead 1000. A once proud shark who's now a bottom feeder. That's right, a bottom feeder. And I'm not the only one. Now when I go out to the garage sales, it's hundreds of bottom feeders feeding off the same rotten carcass. And that's because when the weather gets cold outside and you drive down the road and you see telephone poles that were once pregnant with garage sale signs are now just look like vapid crack whores. It's a wasteland out there, and I'll tell you what, now the new routine is to get on Craigslist, and I'll get on Craigslist now, and I'll write down, let me tell you something, you know how ruthless I thought about getting as a back when stuff was hot and I considered myself a major league shark on the circuit? I thought of making like about 25 to 50 garage sale signs. I was going to make them myself. Arrows and everything pointing down different roads and whatnot. And in the bottom corner of the sign, I was going to put like a little dot or a little designation so I would know which signs were mine. And each sign I would try to do with a different type of paper and with a different penmanship. And that way it would throw all the other garage sailors off course. They would go down the road, they'd make a turn here, they'd make a turn there, they'd be getting lost all over the place. And I would be racking up at the real garage sales. But you know what? My conscience got the best of me. Because I said to myself, if I do that, and there's any such thing as karma, a bolt of lightning is going to come through the ceiling and zap me right in my ball sack. But, yeah, so... all right. Ooh. Okay. We're back. Sorry, I just had to do a barrel roll there. So anyway, so we went out to the garage sales today, and that's basically what we do now. We get on Craigslist, and what I'll do now is I'll write down, while I'm eating my breakfast, I'll check to see what garage sales are out there on Craigslist. And I'll write down the addresses. I'll punch it into the GPS while I'm driving. And I'll go directly to garage sales. There's no more, the days of driving around until you see, you know, signs on the poles are over. Right now you got to do the research. And you got to, I don't know how it is anywhere else. I'm telling you how it is on Long Island. So you got to write down the addresses. You got to punch them into your navigation system, and you got to go there. And let me tell you what happens. Like, for instance, today there was an estate sale or a tag sale. I really don't know the difference. It's an indoor sale, and somebody runs it, and they run around tagging everything with price tags and whatnot. And I pull up at 9 o'clock on the dot. That's when it starts, and there's a line of people outside. I don't know why I say people. I should say bottom feeders, vultures, because that's what we are at this point. That's what we've become. Now you have all the sharks of bottom feeders, of vultures, or whatever you want to call us, scavengers, are all bottlenecked into the same sale. So now, what does this do to a person's mentality? Now you're like, holy mackerel! You're like, I'll never. You start thinking to yourself crazy things. I'm never gonna find a deal. Whereas when the weather was warm, there was such optimism. You said, how can I not find a deal with all these garage sales going on? How can you not find a deal? And now it's like, it's tag sales, estate sales, indoor sales, and everybody shows up, and it's like, how am I ever going to find a deal here? And it's that kind of pessimism that kind of pulls the enjoyment out of doing, you know, what we do here. But that's not going to stop us. It's not going to stop us. So we went to this one, a tag sale, estate sale, I don't know what you want to call it, rotten carcass sale. And we started feeding on the rotten carcass. And there was one of those, I don't know, you ever see one of those CD cases? I guess maybe you have it in your car, it's round, it has a zipper, you open it up, and it has all the plastic inserts and whatnot. And you put your CDs in there. Anyhow, there was one of those there. I asked somebody if they had any video games. Is there any video games in the house? And the person said, yeah, there's PlayStation games in that case. So already I'm rolling my eyes because number one, there's no case. So there you go. You know, what do you want? PlayStation games without the case? But I was like, you know what? I drove all the way out here. Let me give it a shot. And you know what? A best case scenario happened. I opened up this case and I was able to find this. And now my big gripe with finding, you know, Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VIII for the PlayStation is usually you find the case in good shape and the discs inside are rocked. I mean, if you guys ever go to the thrift stores, you know, and or the discs are missing. So, you know, anytime I've ever gone to the thrift store and I found like a Final Fantasy game, a multiple disc, I never get excited when I see it. I said, okay. I said, what's the problem now? Is it going to be missing a disc? Is the disc going to look like, you know, a German Shepherd was chewing on it? Because that's basically what you're in for. You know, I never get too excited when I see them. So anyways, we found the 4 discs of Final Fantasy VIII in really great condition. So this is pretty cool. Because I mean the case is, you know, the case is a dime a dozen. And yeah, so disc 1, disc 2, disc 3. And you know, disc 1 is always wrecked because people start playing the game and they never finish it. So they're constantly taking disc 1 in and out of the case and into the machine. So there you go. All 4 discs are in really nice shape. So all we got to do is snap up a case for that, and I'm pretty convinced that we'll be able to do just that. So there you go. That was probably the best find that I've ever found in a scenario like that where you have the case. So you know, keep looking. Keep looking. I mean, interesting enough, Had this, I learned a lesson. Had this been in the middle of summertime, I would have never wasted my time looking in that goddamn case. The guy would have said, I got a case of the PlayStation game. I would have told him to stick it up his ass. I would have been out of there. I would have been at the next garage sale. So I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I think I'm going to look into it better. Okay. So here we go. The next garage, I went to a total of 4 garage sales today, or estate tag sales, caucuses, whatever you want to call them. And at the third one was an outdoor garage sale, a normal garage sale, and there weren't any video games on the premises as far as I can see. But what does Bidhead 1000 do? He always asks whoever's running the garage sale, and that's what you say, who's running this garage sale? And when you get the person's attention, you always ask for video games. Hey, you got any video games? You got any video games, old or new? Anything. You got to say that, because some people assume that you're looking for newer video games. You're not looking for older video games. So they might have older stuff, and they're like, oh, this guy's not interested. Do you have, take this from Bidhead 1000. Do you have any video games, old or new? Any kind of video games. There you go. So this guy goes in the house. Yeah, I got some stuff in the basement. I got some N64 games. I say, oh, can you bring them out? And he brought them out, and we wound up getting these for $1 a piece. All right, here we go. We got a Super Mario 64. In okay condition. It's got like a scratch down the middle here. Okay. We got an NFL Blitz. Probably the only sports game I'll pick up for the N64. Okay. And in these absolutely horrible cases, I hate any type of case like this. Even though it says Nintendo 64 on it, I just hate these cases. These plastic cases, to me, this is like the plastic furniture, like on your Italian grandmother's couch. That's what this is like. Just so cheap and gaudy. Okay. Here we go. We got San Francisco Rush with the booklet and the game. I always did like this game. We got, you know, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time with the booklet. It's pretty cool to have the booklet. And it's the gold copy here. And it's in really nice shape. That's pretty neat. I didn't even open this yet. I just saw the manual, so I grabbed it. Okay. And we got a game that I don't really see too often, so, you know, which is pretty cool. Diddy Kong Racing. There you go. Diddy Kong Racing. I don't see this one too often, so that's pretty neat. And it's in good shape. He had a couple of other ones, all basically sports games, or like Star Wars. What is it? Star Wars? What's the Star Wars game that always pops up for the N64? Shadows. Is it Shadow something? I don't know, but I wasn't. I have like 5 copies of it. I don't want any more copies of it. So there we go. What do we got here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 N64 games for $1 a piece, $5, and $1 for the Final Fantasy discs. So that's it. That's it. That's all we were able to pull off. But you know what? I got news for you. I was almost excited to find this stuff today because lately I haven't been able to find anything. And I tell you what, I think I'm going to have to I think we're going to have to revisit the thrift stores. And that's something that I almost swore I'd never do again. But I think it's time. I think it's time. So maybe maybe this week, you know, it's the weekend now. Maybe during the week, I'm going to take a ride over to the thrift stores and see what they got. And you know what? It might be a little exciting. There might be a new take at the thrift stores. There might be something new going on. Anyhow, I'll let you guys know, and we'll see what we can find. And as far as the weather around here, the weather's been really agreeable as far as garage sales are concerned. Every weekend's been really nice. 40s, 50s, 50 degrees. So there are garage sales out there, but they're starting to dry up. And as soon as this cold weather kicks, and I have a feeling by next week we're going to be into some deep cold weather, I have a feeling it's going to be over. Probably no more than 3 or 4 garage sales a week from here on out. But you know, we're going to do our best. We're going to slug it out here, and we're going to start doing some reviews soon. So that's pretty much it. Bidhead 1000 here, and I'll see you guys next time.